Welcome to EduRev.
Hello and welcome to EduRev. My name is Harshmeet Sir and I am here to teach you Indian polity. In this video, we will be discussing the making of the Indian Constitution. I have given two IAS interviews in 2014 and 15 and have mentored over 20,000 students in the past 5 years. Now, this particular chapter forms the very basis of your understanding about how is it that our constitution came into being, about what was the idea behind the Constituent Assembly, how did the assembly work, and what were the demands put in front of the assembly. Now, although everyone understands the fact that making a constitution is an essential feature to run a country, but problem ये था कि British were not ready for the fact कि India का constitution Indians ही बनाए. For example, when the British were here, they kept on introducing many acts. Government of India Act आया 1909 का, 1919, 1935, all these are constitutions only and nothing else. But what Indians wanted was कि हमें अपना constitution खुद से बनाना है. We don't want the British to give us the constitution. So the very first person in India जिसने constitution खुद से बनाएंगे हम लोग ऐसी डिमांड उठाई was M.N. Rao. That is Manvendra Nath Roy. Now M.N. Roy in 1934 was the first Indian to say कि we Indians should make our own constitution. हमें बाहर से बना हुआ British constitution नहीं चाहिए. Now M.N. Roy के बारे में unfortunately आप ज़्यादा पढ़ते नहीं हैं. If you have political science as your optional subject, then might be you would be reading about him, about his radical humanism and his theory of humanism. But generally speaking, M.N. Roy was one of the founders of the Communist Party of India and a very famous figure in the communist movement in India in the earlier years. After that, उन्होंने कांग्रेस ज्वाइन करने की कोशिश की, but he did not win the president's election within Congress, और कांग्रेस में ज़्यादा टिके नहीं और बाहर आके उन्होंने अपनी पार्टी खोल ली. Anyway, after M.N. Roy के बाद the Indian National Congress also started demanding that yes, India should be allowed to make its own constitution. Indian National Congress ने 1938 के अपने सेशन में, when Jawaharlal Nehru was the president of the Congress, तब डिमांड किया that yes, we should make our own constitution. Now demands करना तो कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं थी, demands तो हम बहुत पहले से बहुत चीज़ों ही करते आ रहे थे. It was about the British accepting, क्या British मानेंगे कि नहीं. Now the British started to change their point of view only during the Second World War. जब Second World War शुरू होता है 1939 में, British wanted the Indian soldiers to be at their side. Indian soldiers ने First World War में British के साइड से हम लोग लड़े थे, and they were very happy with that contribution. So the British wanted the Indians to fight from their side in the Second World War also, but our soldiers refused. The Congress Party also refused कि हम नहीं support करेंगे. Why? Because we wanted an assurance from them कि हाँ war के बाद you will get independence. An assurance that we were not getting. हमें ऐसा assurance नहीं मिल रहा था. That is why British kept on introducing plans such as the August Offer, the Wavell Plan, Cripps Mission Plan. All these plans were introduced one by one and they were rejected by the Congress and the Muslim League. इन सब plans के बारे में you will read in detail in your modern history. Finally, the plan which was successful in being accepted by most of the parties in India was the Cabinet Mission Plan. It was finally the Cabinet Mission Plan according to which it was decided कि India का अपना Constituent Assembly बनेगा. The Constituent Assembly was made as per the Cabinet Mission Plan. Now, as per the Cabinet Mission Plan, the Constituent Assembly of India would have 389 members. Out of this, 296 would come from British India and 393 from the princely states. Now here it is important for you to understand, when India became independent, the entire country was not under the British. पूरा country को British rule में नहीं था. There were some parts of the country which were not under the British. Some parts such as the princely states, like the states of Jammu Kashmir, Bikaner, Travancore, Hyderabad, these were not under the British. These are called princely states. So out of 389 members in the Constituent Assembly, 296 had to come from British India, the British के अंडर था, like Bombay, Madras, Bengal, etc. And 93 had to come from the princely states. ये 296 में से भी, out of these 296, 4 members had to come from the chief commissioner provinces. ब्रिटिश के अपने चीफ कमिश्नर प्रोविंसेस थे 4, वेरी सिमिलर टू द यूनियन टेरिटरीज दैट वी हैव टुडे. ऐसे 4 चीफ कमिश्नर प्रोविंसेस से लोग आने थे. So remember the fact, Constituent Assembly had 389 members and it was formed under Cabinet Mission Plan. Now this assembly had to be elected and nominated partially in a manner कि एक सीट मिलेगी over every 10 lakh population. For example, if Bengal had 4 crore population, so Bengal से 40 people will come in the Constituent Assembly. If Punjab had 2 crore population, then let's say 20 people will come in the assembly. So the number of seats divided amongst the states and the princely states and British India was on the basis of their population. Now, how did the members come? Members आए कैसे? There was no common election. So common man like you or me, we did not vote. Then how did the members come? Let's first talk about British India. So British India था. British India at that time had 11 provinces. So there were 11 provinces such as Bengal, for example. Every province had their own legislative assembly, which you call Vidhan Sabha. So every province had their own legislative assembly, जहाँ पे MLAs थे, which people had elected. लोगों ने अपने MLAs को चुना हुआ था, much like we have today. These MLAs of Bengal, for example, they voted कि Bengal से assembly में कौन आएगा. The common people did not vote. The members of the provincial assemblies voted, just like the Rajya Sabha election. जैसे राज्यसभा इलेक्शन होते हैं. एंड इन द प्रिंसली स्टेट्स, जहाँ प्रिंसली स्टेट्स है वहाँ पे देयर वर नो असेंबलीज, कोई इलेक्शन नहीं होते थे. सो इन द प्रिंसली स्टेट्स द रूलर्स वर अलाउड टू सेंड एनीवन दैट दे वांट. दे कुड नॉमिनेट एनीवन. फॉर एग्जांपल जम्मू कश्मीर से कौन आएगा, वो जम्मू कश्मीर के महाराजा विल डिसाइड. सो दस द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली ऑफ इंडिया वाज अ मिक्स ऑफ इलेक्टेड प्लस नॉमिनेटेड मेंबर्स. Also, the seats were reserved on the basis of religion. Muslims के लिए seats reserved थी on basis of their population. Seats were reserved for Sikhs, and the remaining seats were called general category seats. So these seats were reserved on the basis of religion. And successfully, the Constituent Assembly was elected, and they started to function even before our independence. In fact, 9th December 1946 was when the Constituent Assembly started to function. This brings me to the end of this chapter, but before I leave, I have one simple question for you. Consider the following statements with regard to the Constituent Assembly of India. First, it was based under the proposal of Mountbatten Plan. This is incorrect. Why? We just discussed it was formed under the Cabinet Mission Plan, not the Mountbatten Plan. The Mountbatten Plan was the one in which partition of India and Pakistan was announced on 3rd of June 1947. Its first sitting was held before India became independent. That is absolutely true. I just told you the first sitting was held on 9th of December 1946, means before India had become independent. Third, members were chosen by indirect election by members of the provincial legislative assembly. This is absolutely correct. Members from British India were chosen by the members of their legislative assemblies, like the Vidhan Sabha. So the correct answer here would be 2 and 3, means B. I hope you all got that right. Thank you so much for watching the video.